working as a manager at Celtic Park. When we met you, we picked you out, you shook us up and turned us around. You've turned us into something new. Ange Postecoglou, you know that we believe it when you say you're gonna change it. Ange Postecoglou, we're the mighty Tottenham and nobody's gonna stop them. Oh, he looks so fine in blue and lily white. And then he said to me, I'm from a land down under. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh, oh.
What is happening, people? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening, and welcome back to another one of these weekly live shows every Monday, 8 p.m. Today, I'm joined by three fabulous guests. Firstly, Kallum, regular, obviously, with me at Parkland Podcast. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Thanks for having me on again. Seems to be a regular occurrence. I see too much UH.
Yeah, that's not a great thing. So apologies for that. But no, it's great to have you back on. TJ, first time on the show. Obviously, we've done so many streams together. Southview Coys. It's only fair for me to get you on. How you been recently?
I've been all right, man. A lot has been going on in my personal life, so I'm getting back to the streaming. But yeah, man, just ready for Tottenham. Ready to get stressed out. Well, thank you for having me on as well, man. It's overdue, man. I should have been on. I should have been your VIP guest.
Very, very true. Marc, I believe a second or third time now on the show. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Always a good weekend when we win and that lot lose.
Absolutely.
That's two weekends running.
I know, I'm loving it at the moment. Long may it continue. Big up to everyone on the chat listening live on YouTube. Big up V Spurs TV. Big up Jude. I've been very well. I'm very good, thank you. We'll get onto this towards the end of the show when it is announced. Before we crack into it, though, if you want to check out my channel merch because it's available until midnight tonight, please do so. Good quality and affordable prices. Any names and numbers on the back is absolutely free of cost, so go check that out. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It's free to do so, and it helps the channel and the show grow. If you are listening on any other podcast platforms such as Spotify or Amazon Music, don't forget to give us a follow and a 5-star review. That'd be massively appreciated. But let's crack straight into it. And Marc, actually, I'm going to come to you first. I want to know your thoughts on the lineup, thinking back before the Burnley game. Because you had Van der Ven back on the bench, Sessegnon back on the bench, Scarlett back on the bench after being recalled from Ipswich. What do you make of that team? Were you happy it's strong?
I think that, yeah, I'm happy he went strong. I'm so pleased he put Vicario in goal and not Forster. Nothing against Fraser Forster, but everything we do playing out from the back comes from Vicario. It starts with him. And Forster just cannot play that way with his feet. Plus the fact that Vicario is a fantastic goalkeeper. But pleased he went strong. Pretty much the lineup most people predicted if he went strong, because I don't think he had anyone else, to be honest. Surprised to see Cess back. Pleased because I've been one of those people that I'm desperate to see how the tune that Ange can get out of him. And play him further up the park in that wide left role, take the defensive duty away from him because you've got a doggy behind you. And actually, if he can stay fit, there might be a player in there, but there might not. Who knows? I think he's got 18 months left on his contract. So I think 6 months to prove himself. And if he can't, then he'll be one of those that don't let the door hit you on the arse on the way out. Excuse my language, sorry.
No, I forgive you. TJ, coming to you next. So, thinking back before the Burnley game, were you happy that Ange Postecoglou went strong in that. And what was your thoughts when you saw the likes of Mickey van der Ven back on the bench?
I'm glad he's taking this competition serious because we saw from the previous comp it was really overwhelming. But I'm glad to see Mickey van der Ven on the bench. I just felt like we were going to win, to be honest with you. I know it took us longer to score than anything else in it, but the lineup was perfect. I feel like he had it spot on, you know. It's good to see Sessegnon. I call him broken bones, but I'm glad to see him on the pitch getting minutes, you know. And it will be interesting because now you've got an extra person that can obviously play in obviously Udogi's position. So it will be interesting. You know what? Look, again, I can't really complain. We got through. We done the job. On to the next round, you know, and that's basically all I really wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, TJ. Kallum, were you happy that Postecoglou went strong?
It had to be done, mate. It had to be done, to be honest, because they have no idea what was going on and all that, because I don't think anyone expected him to go that strong. And it was probably the strongest team that he had available at the time within reason. So, yeah, I was happy with what he went with. But obviously, when we get more into the game, you'll hear my faults like last night on it as well.
Callum, the only thing I would say to that is 9 days before the United game and then 13 days before the next round, there was no reason not to.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He had to. He didn't have a choice, I don't think, did he?
It just showed he took it serious, to be honest with you, because, like I said, our last competition was overwhelming. He changed the whole 11, and you saw how that ended. So he had to make a statement.
We know that the second team isn't good enough, and we should be treating domestic trophy seriously. It's as simple as that. He didn't really have a choice. The backlash should have been something else, and rightly so. But I want to move on to, half time, because there's pretty much nothing happened in the first half. So half time was 0-0. So, Cal, I want to come to you. What were your thoughts on that first 45 minutes? Were they really frustrating? Burnley obviously playing a low block.
Yeah, it was definitely frustrating. And then Richarlison looked like his old self and all that. He looked like he couldn't hit a barn door from 2 yards away.
Yeah, we'll get on to Richarlison.
It was one of them where if I could have probably got 45 minutes of my life back, probably would have been that first half of football. I'm not going to lie, mate. There was really nothing really to talk about apart from the fact we dominated and didn't do anything with it, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Really frustrating. TJ, I don't know if you saw it, but if you did, what were your thoughts on that first 45? Because we surprised us when Burnley went with a low block as well, because I was saying that our Vincent company won't learn. They had to play defensively, and it nearly worked for them.
Yeah, so I was watching it from the hospital, and I felt like we lacked quality going forward, look, we controlled it. We had most of the possession, so I'm not saying we didn't really control the game. It's just like they played a low block, and it did with likes of Richarlison. We did struggle, and look, we're going to come against teams that play this low block, and I feel like there's going to be a point where we're going to learn, because remember, we're still in the building stages under Postecoglou. We're still understanding his formation. We're still understanding what he actually wants to do with this squad. So as much as a lot of Spurs fans really have high expectations and want attacking football and want us to dominate every single game, certain games are going to be difficult, and I just saw a change. Look, again, we got the result. We got the result. The first half, what can we say about it? It was just, I ended up, it was boring. It was boring. Let's be honest with you. It was boring. But the whole point is we got the result. It's all about results. We need to be more clinical. I would say that's one thing that I've been screaming about. Not just on like you've been. You know me. I've been saying we're not clinical enough. We're missing too many opportunities, and certain opportunities that land, they have to take their chances. So I feel like we will grow, and it's in the start. I have to keep reminding myself we're in the starting stages. We're still building. We're still understanding.
I think we're punching above our weight.
Sorry, say that again.
I think we're punching above our weight. How early we are in the Ange project, as you say. I think
1,000%. No, I totally agree with you. So look, a lot of Spurs fans just have to be patient. We are going to get performances that might not look convincing. Who would have look? Let's be honest with you here now. Who would have thought that we would be in this position?
We've just come out the hat at home.
Yeah, just soon. In the FA Cup fourth round, we got Manchester City at home. Ouch.
That's at home, but I don't want to be optimistic.
But they've never scored or never won at Anfield Stadium.
Look, let's be honest with you. We are their bogey team. We shouldn't really be afraid of Man City. I know Man City have that quality, but whenever we actually play them, and you know what, it is what it is, isn't it? It's better to get rid of them teams early, and I'm confident
that this year we can treat the FA Cup seriously and progress. I'm not being funny, but I think we're going to need something special to get through. It's only in 12, 13 days time. Yeah,
it's true.
I think we're going to need a miracle. But we'll see. Our record against City at home's good.
Would you guys go on, Kallum?
Would you guys rather play a second string team against Brentford to play seriously against City?
No.
You'd rather go for league instead of cup?
No, I think we will have a big enough and strong enough squad by then. Maddison will be back, Solomon will be back, Romero will be back, and hopefully we've signed a centre back by then. We've got plenty. We'll have plenty of players. And the chances are Bissouma will be back by then because Marley will not get past the last 16.
No, I agree with you. But is it wise to rush these players back? It's good for them to be back.
Maddison's been out for 3 months. He'll be back.
But what I'm trying to say, fully fitness, it takes long to get back into that stride. You get where I'm coming from.
They'll be physically fit. The only way to get match fit is by playing matches. So Bentancur came back a month early. And he ran out a bit of steam towards the end of the game, but he looked like Bentancur.
Yeah, okay. But Mark, can I get your reaction to the FA Cup fourth round draw? Initial thoughts?
It is what it is. You have to play whoever you're drawn against. I'm pleased we're at home.
Yeah,
because our record in the new stadium, we played 5-1-5, and they've never scored a goal and missed 2 penalties. So Pep hates coming there. He still can't work it out. And if you drop the 2 Wembley games when the stadium was being built, you go back. They haven't won in N17 since. Well, they haven't scored in N17 since 2015. When De Bruyne opened the scoring. Since then, I think we've scored something like 15 goals without reply in N17 against City. I've done a lot of homework on this because it comes up every year, and I keep saying, we'll beat them 1-0. It's fine.
But you always think that these things have to come to an end, no?
No, why should they?
You can't be thinking like that. You have to...
you can't think like that.
I just think that the way we played, under a defensive coach, it was harder because we all know, we see it now. It's harder to break down that lower block team. So I think that kind of played into our hands. Whereas now you've got 2 open, expansive football. And we all know City team with De Bruyne and Haaland back. That's one of the best teams.
Well, we don't know that you don't know that Haaland's going to be back.
No, we don't know that Haaland's going to be back. We know that De Bruyne is back. We have to see about Haaland.
Okay,
he should be, but we don't know. So,
all right.
What's our back line looking like
by then? It'll be full strength. By then, it should be Porro, Van der Ven, Romero, and Udogie.
So Dyer, Davis, Emerson, Sessegnon. There you go.
It won't be.
Kallum, can I get your reaction to the fourth round draw?
I'd rather play City than Liverpool. I'm not going to lie. I would have rather have played City. I don't know what it is. City just seem not to enjoy playing against us, even when it's at their own place. They always seem to be there or thereabouts with us, but never fully on board. So no, we're going to have to beat big teams along the way, one way or another. And I'd rather beat them now and have some other teams play against minnows and get knocked out than coming against City in the semi-final or final, because I remember the last time we got to an FA Cup semi-final, it was them who knocked us out, weren't it? So I'd rather play them now while we're still fresh compared to an FA Cup at the end of the season when everyone's dead and ready for their holidays.
No, that is true. TJ, what do you reckon? Fourth round draw, Man City at home. What are your thoughts?
History tells us that we will beat them. So, look, see, for me, look, we for some reason we always have one over City. So I'm not really afraid on that sense. It's just maybe because it's a big game, players, the style. I don't know. Look, again, you know what? Look, we have to play whoever we get in the next round. And all games are going to be hard. I think personally we should put all our eggs in this FA Cup. You know, you know what? Look, it might sound crazy that I'm saying this right now, but
no,
forget the league and go for this. I would rather us win this competition and get that mojo out. Because think about it. What, 15 years since we last lifted a trophy?
Yeah.
Get that curse off Tottenham, win this trophy, and then next year we build on from what we've been doing all season.
Yeah.
Especially with the squad that we have as well, you know, because we're gonna have our back line back, I assume, and obviously our midfielders will be back. It'll be interesting, you know. It'll be interesting. It'll be a good watch. It'll be a good watch, to be honest with you.
Can I
go on, Callum.
Can I just add one, mate, quickly? So obviously, if this is going to be played, this is either the 27th or the 28th of January. We then got Brentford at home at Spurs on the 31st. We then got a quick turnaround again against Everton, where we're playing up on Merseyside as well. And then 10th of Feb, we then play Brighton at Spurs. So, I mean, it could be a lot worse. We've got quite a few home games around there, but it's the turnaround time which is in there, because theoretically Sonny should be back for probably the Everton game. I would say I doubt it's going to be the 31st Jan when he comes back. Maybe Basuma will be back. Sarr with Senegal, I would say they're pretty good compared to Mali. So I think so I mean, it's going to be a tough run though, because he's got to balance it right. And if we do get, obviously I know we're going to do transfers later on and all that stuff and commenting on that, but if we do get a decent squad, then it's all right. But based on the numbers now, if we've got City this weekend, I'll probably be going, oh, sugar, what's going on?
I think we have the squad when the players are back, or certainly the 11, to be able to juggle both the FA Cup and the league. But if you had to say to me, which one would you prioritise? As TJ says, we haven't won a major trophy in 15 years. We have a bigger chance of winning the FA Cup than the Premier League. I don't see us getting anywhere near City and Liverpool at this moment in time. Obviously, a lot can change. We know that. Yet, City haven't been great yet, but with De Bruyne and Haaland, obviously we've seen De Bruyne back. When Haaland comes back, for me, there will be a different fall. So for me, I want to see us prioritising those domestic cups out of the League Cup, so we can't prioritise that. But the FA Cup for me. But I want to move on now. I want to focus on an individual in that Burnley game. And it is Richarlison. Has been brought up a lot. I think it's still a fairly big talking point. So, GJ, coming to you, you know, because obviously he had some chances, you dragged wide, etc. Should he have taken those chances? And still, is he still the right man for you, as Tottenham number 9?
He was never the right man for me, to be honest with you. But I will always support our players. Man, you know what? Look, most of the chances that he got, he should have put away. You know, he's a player that is so frustrating. He has 9 shots, and then one of them shots go in. You know, it's difficult because like he's not arcane. You know, we're comparing him to a world-class striker. You know, so whenever he does make a mistake or he misses, you know, all Tottenham fans, even myself, if Kane was in that position, he would bury that. You know, I generally feel that he is still our man. You know, he's still in form for me. He scored in every single fixture for the last 5, I think, apart from Burnley, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm right or wrong. Last 5, he scored every single time, you know. So he is in form still, and I still do believe he is our man. My concern is, what are they doing in the training? Are they not doing shooting drills, you know? Because clinicalness is a problem with Tottenham. We miss so many chances. And it's not just Richarlison, across the front line. And I'm starting to question. Look, we've just added Werner. Look, we're going to get to that, but like we've just added Werner to the pack of these players. You know what? It's difficult. Richarlison, you know what? Look, we can't really now just put him on the bench because he's the only clinical striker that we have, really and truly, until Son gets back. Just have to carry on playing him. And he is frustrating, but that's what we bargained for. That's the type of player we brought to Tottenham, you know?
Yeah. Listen, I really like Richarlison. A lot of, you know that yourself, TJ, right? And I think he works hard. I love that he now tracks back, wins the ball, and I think his work ethic is unquestionable. His form's been really good recently. However, at the end of the day, look at him and go, "Oh, I wish I had a bit more pace." Or you look at those chances that he dragged wide against Burnley, and you go, "You have to score that as a striker." However, I think the comparisons to Harry Kane are ridiculously unfair, and it's a bias. It's ridiculous. It's petty more than anything. Fans clinging on to Harry Kane. He's gone. Move on. Grow up. He's gone. Focus on the players that we've got. Get behind Richarlison. I said it. I've said it in the week to other Spurs YouTubers with different players. Just grow the hell up. Kane's moved on. Thank you to what you've done. He's not here anymore. Get behind Richarlison while he's here. He's in great form. He missed chances. Don't say, "Oh, Kane would have scored that," because Richarlison isn't Harry Kane. Completely different players. And I hate that comparison. But Callum, where do you kind of stand for Richarlison at this moment in time?
I'm firmly of the belief that he can do a job there. I don't think it's going to be a great job. He can't be compared to other players or anything like that, because we knew when we were buying Richarlison that he goes through long patches of inconsistency and different bits, but you can't fault his work rate. Work rate, he's 10 out of 10 for me on. Finishing ability, probably a 6. Running ability, probably an 8. And staying on side and not going offside, probably about 3 and all that. That's the problem with him. He doesn't know. He just seems like he doesn't know how to read the game all the time. And Burnley was one of them ones where you saw the chance that he had. All the chances that he has this season, he's either had a tap in or some decent play from a header, but it's just the consistency that always gets me with him. And like TJ said, we've got a misfiring front line at the moment who have, I think, got about 10 goals between all of them in Johnson, Kulu and Richie for the season, and that's across all competitions, not just in the Prem. So there's definitely something there. And when you look at it, Kulu creates a lot of chances, but I don't think him and Richie are on the same wavelength like Kulu and Son are, or Kulu and Kane are, where they know how to fix it. Because when you look at the stats that both of them have, Richarlison's got like 1 assist, Kulusevski's got 2. It's an issue that Ange knows what he's doing and he needs to rectify, because it's what he's paid to do. It's him as the coach. And yeah, I agree with TJ that if they're Are they doing shooting practice? Are they not? Are they learning how to read the game? Because these are all professionals who have been around the game a long time. So they need to work out how to gel as a front unit. But I think because they haven't played together, this is their first game properly playing as a front three unit. It didn't work. And it's one of them where Burnley are a pain in the backside to play against when they play a low block. And Richarlison just didn't know how to play around that low block, and Spurs as a team didn't. So that's why it makes, obviously, Richarlison get emphasis on 2 to 3 chances, which he did miss. But he hasn't been that bad recently. I mean, you know my opinion from the start of the season. It's changed a little bit. I don't fully back him with as much love as you do, but I appreciate what he does.
He's the number one striker, Kallum. Not being funny, I think he's that kind of player who, like, he's almost like your rotation player. You kind of that's the word I'm looking for. Impact player. He comes off the bench. I think Richarlison's personally best at that. And like Timo Werner now, personally Werner goes in that start 11, and Richarlison comes on as that impact player. I like Richarlison, but at the end of the day, you know, he's a player that lives off confidence. So when you can't rely on someone when they have a bad game, their head drops. But no, I agree with you, and I think he's definitely been better recently. I think most people.
Problem is Werner is exactly the same as Richie, in my opinion. They're both confidence players. They're both not first team starters and all that. They're rotation options. That's my only concern when it comes to both of them, to be honest.
The only difference between Werner, sorry, can I just add a little bit onto that? The only difference between Werner and Richarlison, Werner has the pace, and he is a very hard working. Although Richarlison is a very hard working player, he runs his socks off. Werner runs, So to be totally honest with you, he does offer a bit more. But again, it's just we shouldn't really be buying. Look, I stand by my point when we bought Richarlison. He was the wrong signing. And
do you still stand by that?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to ever become the striker that we want him to become. And I'm not comparing Kane and Richarlison and not doing that. I'm just saying to lead Tottenham's line, I don't think he has the capability. I don't think he's capable to do it. He's not an out striker.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's exactly what I just said. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Salah. He's a converted number 9. That's the thing. So he's not your reliable up front. He's converted into that role. He was a left winger for Watford and all that. He played on the left wing for Everton. He's only got the front man role for Brazil because they don't have enough players up there that are good enough, and it just happens that he is kind of better than Gabriel Jesus.
Can I just interrupt and say, towards the end of the show, we will answer everyone's questions on Twitter and on here. So stay tuned till the very end. Marc, I want to kind of bring you in on this now. So where do you kind of stand at this moment in time with Richarlison? Has he kind of proved you wrong recently, or you still, I don't know, stand to you with your opinion?
There's a couple of things. Listening to all the guys' comments, and I take on board everything they said. Kulu, Richie, and
Johnson
between them have got 14 goals in all competitions this season. Richie's got 7, Kulu's got 6, and I think Johnson's got 1. But he has got 3 assists, 4 assists, something like that. The other thing I would add to that is Maddison's missing. And that was 10 games into the season, he got injured. And he had 5 goals, 3 assists, or 3 goals, 5 assists, something like that. So he'd already had 8 goal contributions in 10 games.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little unfair to judge a player when your most creative player is not playing.
That's fair.
He was bought originally as a backup for Kane, should Kane get injured or something happen or whatever. So he was never brought in at the time to be the main striker. Then he was played out on the left for a season and a half, which just is not him. I know he's played there before, but that's not him. For me, if you look at the goals he scores, they're pretty much all round about the 6-yard box. I mean, there was the identical goals, Everton and Bournemouth, and they're not tap-ins. Those are really good finishes, really clean finishes, which really annoyed me and frustrated me Friday when he snatched at those 2 or 3 on his left side, which is not his strongest side. But you know what? He's never going to be a 20-goal-a-season striker. But I don't think he was ever bought as a 20-goal-a-season striker because you had Kane scoring 25 to 30 and Son getting 15 to 20. While you were talking, I was looking something up. This time last season, 20 games in, we'd only scored 36 goals. And that was with Kane and with 4 penalties. We've scored 42 this season. So please don't tell me we're struggling to score goals. Yes, we are not taking all our chances, TJ. I agree with you.
Yep.
But if we did that, we'd be winning 4-5-0 every week.
Agreed.
I'd rather be making the chances and taking 2 or 3 every game than not making any chances at all, which is almost what it looked like last season. It was like, give the ball to Harry and pray that he does something with it.
So it goes back down to clinical edge. Then it goes back down to being clinical.
There is a lack of a clinical edge, but you're always going to see that when you sell a 30-goal-a-season striker and don't replace him like for like, as a lot of people have been shouting for. Ange wants to play with pace, and if he gets Werner, he's got 4 of the quickest strikers or attacking players in the Premier League.
Yeah,
and none of them will be the quickest player at the club. Because Van der Ven's still quicker than all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it is unbelievable how quick and pacey this team is going to be. Udogie, Porro.
That's credit to the board.
Sar's another one. I mean, I think we'll miss him more than we miss Son.
Yeah, he's underrated.
Opinion.
No, I agree with you. No,
we'll get on to Sarr and Udogie and their new contract. That's all right. Silly, that's all right.
But going back to your point about Richarlison,
yeah.
I still think he'll get 12, 15 goals this season. And you know what? If he gets 15, Sonny gets 20, Maddison gets 10, Kulu gets 10. I'd rather you spread them around like that rather than think, oh my God, Kane hasn't scored, we haven't scored.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
Spot on.
It makes total sense. You're speaking really good facts, to be honest with you.
Just a hypothetical for you guys, and it's a bit of a fantasy football sort of football manager one. Imagine if we did have Kane still, if we was creating all of these chances, how many would we be scoring and all that? That's the thing.
I hate that's the question though.
No, that's why I put it out to you.
My only comeback on that is would he be in and around those areas, or would he have dropped deep to create the pass before the pass, like he was doing, and he's still doing at Bayern Munich. So I'm not sure.
I believe what we're missing, as much as I agree on what you're saying. I agree we miss a finisher, a clinical finisher, because the chances that land and the amount of chances we miss. Sometimes I know I should never, but I've been gifted to watch a wonderful footballer in Kane, and I'm never going to compare both of them players. But the chances that we miss sometimes, I pull my hair out, because I feel a clinical striker, like an Ivan Toney maybe, someone that can finish or finish with a shot. Like a Son is a good clinical striker, but the problem with Son, he likes to run off the. You get where I'm coming. He likes to run off the ball. Yeah.
He likes to play as a secondary sort of thing, as a shadow striker. Yeah.
Really and truly, we need a clinical striker, someone that's going to bury the chances that land to. And I'm not just saying Richarlison. I'm not just basing it on Richarlison. So we just lack the clinical edge. We miss too many chances.
Look at the top 6 teams, 8 teams in the Premier League. Who's got Arsenal? Arsenal don't have one.
Yeah, it's true.
Liverpool with Nunes don't have one. I mean, Salah really props up their goal scoring more than anything. City have got Haaland, granted, but they're City. Newcastle, Isak, possibly.
Not really.
Not really.
He can't stay fit enough.
But Watkins, possibly, but not really. He's never had a 20-goal a season.
Misses a lot of chances.
Chelsea don't have one. United definitely don't have one. I think Richarlison's got. Richarlison, correct me if I'm wrong. Richarlison's got more goals in the Premier League this season than Rashford, Anthony,
Højlund and
Martial combined.
Yeah.
So
no, you're right.
I get what you're saying, TJ, but I think football actually has changed a little bit. I don't think that sort of striker exists apart from 1 or 2 or 3 in the world. You got Lewandowski, Kane, and Haaland, and for me, that's about it. There is a
I wouldn't have even said Lewandowski. I would have said Benzema. If anything, them old traditional forward sort of roles and all that, and they're going now. Yeah. You are right, though, Mark. They are going now. That breed of striker, out-and-out target man sort of role is going. It's all converted forwards, converted wingers now who are adding that.
Anyway, I'm going to jump in. Let's get back on track. I agree with both of you, actually. I agree, Mark, in terms of we're creating more chances, so much more enjoyable than last season, and it is so much better. I also agree with TJ. You go back to the Chelsea game before it all went wrong, or the West Ham game, the Villa game. We create enough chances to win that game comfortably and could have had it wrapped up by half-time, but we lacked that clinical edge. But again, without for me, your most creative player in Maddison, that does happen. So I totally get both sides. Back on track to the Burnley game. Our first goal came in the 78th minute from a wonder strike. That's fair to say, by Pedro Porro. So I'm going to go around one by one. So I want just one word to describe the strike. Mark, I want to come to you first. What's your one word to describe that Pedro Porro goal?
Special.
Special. It certainly was special. Kallum?
All right. No, wow.
It certainly was wow. TJ?
I'm going to be a bit controversial here. I think it was very lucky.
Oh, wow.
It was a good strike. Don't get me wrong. Look. It was a good strike, but I felt...
Wow.
I felt he hit to just hit the ball. I didn't think it was...
So you don't think it's technique?
I didn't think he meant it. No, I don't think he meant it. I don't think he meant to die. Look, he knew he was shooting. He knew he was shooting, but I didn't think he meant it.
Really?
It was a good goal. Yeah, but listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say it wasn't a good goal. It was an amazing goal, but I felt like he hit it to just challenge the goalkeeper. I didn't think he realized he didn't mean it. If someone I don't know, someone.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but Porro's just looked at it and gone, right, let's have a go. Nobody was shooting. It's really frustrating me. The lack of play. He's had a go, right? But at the same time, he's backed his technique and he's got it absolutely spot on. I know you can tell he looks surprised that he scored, right? But I wouldn't call it like a fluke or anything. He's meant to score, but I think it's even better than he thought. It's not the fact he had a good chance of getting it on target and potentially going in from there and the keeper spilling it, etc. But it's just how clean and how
it was a brilliant strike, man.
It's excellent.
The technique on it was brilliant. It was just at the time.
If you've seen, though, he's scored a lot of them in his career and all that. That is a technique that he's got. He always aims for top left or top right-hand corner with everything he does, either his free kicks or his long shots. He's a long shot specialist. That's the thing.
Back there, Kallum, he already celebrates before the ball goes in the back of that. He turns away.
Oh, yeah, he goes like this. Yeah.
He knows he's got it. So, as someone who obviously not plays football, absolutely nowhere near the same level. But even when you put a good strike away, or you etc. You take a good free kick. As soon as it comes off your foot, where that ball is roughly going, and he knew that was an absolutely perfect strike. Excellent idea, excellent execution. But I want to move on. Player of the match, Mark. Who stood out for you?
there were a few good performances. I thought Emerson played really well.
Yeah.
I thought Bentancur before he ran out of steam. I just love watching Bentancur play. He just glides around the pitch. He takes the ball under pressure, and he's so press resistant, which is what Højbjerg and Skip just aren't, unfortunately. I'd probably give it to Porro because it was the match defining moment, and with a cup tie, you just got to get in the next round. So another one of those, Pedro, on the 27th, 26th of January would be nice.
Absolutely.
Just get Pep pulling out some more hair.
Yeah, better love that. Callum, who's your player of the match? I don't know if we spoke about this yesterday.
No, we didn't. It would have been the steward in row Z in the North Stand, sitting next to whatever fan was sitting in seat 127. No, I don't think anyone played that well, mate, to be honest. I honestly, I guess Porro, because I really didn't enjoy the game. I don't think...
No, it was horrible.
It
really
was
horrible
that good.
It wasn't even enjoyable.
Apart from that moment of magic. Apart from that, Porro.
But it was
Anyone else?
so right to see that we could stretch Burnley out. I was there myself. It was like crossfield pass, and I was like, "Why aren't we taking a shot earlier?" Because Burnley are struggling to get back. Porro finally picked up upon that. He's been given a lot of space and takes advantage of it. So it took a wonder strike to beat probably the joint worst team in the Premier League. But again, as Marc says, we get through to round 4. It doesn't matter how we are through, and that is the all-important thing. TJ, who stood out for you if you had to choose one player of the match?
Emerson Royale, man, he was phenomenal. I don't think he put a foot wrong, to be honest with you. But then again, it was such a boring match, and it did take a wonder strike to win it. So for me, Emerson Royale, Emerson Royale.
Yeah, and coming back to you, TJ, do you think we deserve the win, or did Burnley have a right to feel hard done by? Obviously, huge chance towards the end. Not being funny, that falls to Liam Foster if he's still on the pitch. He scores that. Even Richarlison probably scores that. That's a big missed opportunity at the end.
As a Burnley fan, if I was a Burnley fan, I would have been hard done by it because they played so well. They defensively, they were really strong. It was really hard to break them down, but I don't know, man. It wasn't really a game to really be excited about. I was bored. I was watching it in the hospital, next to my mum, and it did bore me. Lucky enough, I had my mum to distract me a bit, but it wasn't really a game that was like I was into, But it was. Burnley Burnley played well. Let's give them credit. Credit where credit's due. Burnley did play well.
I think you get a lot of third round ties that are like that because they come on the back of the really heavy Christmas schedule.
Yeah,
and especially when you've got the likes of Amazon Prime and moving games around. So that we ended up having, what was it? We had 8 days between Everton and Brighton.
Then 4 days.
4 days. And then 4 days between. Why can't we just have 6 between both? And just spread it out a bit. It's just, and then we've got one game in 10 days, and then no game for Thursday. I'm quite happy because it gives us an opportunity to recharge. And the likes of Porro and Odogi and Kulusevski, who probably need a little break because they've been the constants while everyone else has been injured and suspended and other things. So,
okay.
Based on that run that I said about... based on that run that I said earlier, if we're going to have 4 games in 12 days at the start of Feb, we need this break now, to be honest.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Marc, I'm going to ask you the question. Did we miss Son against Burnley? Because some people said, we missed that kind of cutting edge, etc. So did we miss him for you?
Probably. I think you're always going to miss a player of his calibre.
Of course.
In a game where I think we're going to miss him more against someone like a City, where there is that space for him. Less effective in those low block teams, but we definitely missed him.
Yeah.
And that's not a criticism of anyone else. We missed him. I'm still can't work out why he had to go so early, seeing as I'm watching the Man United game and Anana's playing for Man United, and he'll be playing at the weekend.
It makes no sense. I don't understand why that's allowed.
I honestly don't understand that. That makes no sense to me.
It's not allowed, but a team can't play that close together. So how can a player? I find that.
Because then I think he has like 12 hours to get to wherever he's going. You know, it makes I don't understand how they allow that.
Is that advantage Tottenham or advantage Man United?
No, that's definitely an advantage for us.
Just thought I'd put the question out there. But not be funny, he's not going to be his best no matter how games he's played either, you know. So there you go. Callum, I'm going to put the next question to you. I want to talk about Ben Davies. I think his performances go massively under the radar, in particular recently. Dependable. Very, very dependable for me. Very reliable. Stepped in, and we talked about Emerson. Very similar, except Davies has been doing it for a lot of years now. You know, whatever you may think of him, I don't think he's got the best qualities in the world. But whenever a manager asks something upon him, he fills in and he does the job. And for me, he goes also up and beyond. So what do you make of him filling in for Van der Ven? Because as much as I love Van der Ven, Davies has kind of made me kind of not think about it so much. And that's credit to Davies, the excellent job he's done. Do you think he's done well?
Yeah, I would say that with Ben Davies, you're consistently going to get, say, a 7 or an 8 each week sort of thing. He's never anything special, but he knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants to do as well, and he knows what he can and can't do. He's an elderly statesman footballer now. He's getting near he's coming to the end of his prime, I would say, and he's probably going to start deteriorating over the next 2 to 3 seasons. But the thing is, with him, you know he's dependable and all that, and he knows where he stands. And yeah, I still miss Van der Ven. I think Van der Ven is just a class player over that. But each squad needs those sort of reliable backups that you can do. And Davies has always been there. Like, he's never complained. I guess that's maybe one of the problems with him. He's a yes man and all that. He probably has gone along with all the crap that we've had at Spurs over the years and all that. And that's why they've kept him around maybe for that long. But you do need people like that who you can depend on. So, yeah, I think he's been a good stopgap. That's how I put it, mate. I wouldn't have him as my first choice centre-back every week in, week out.
I still think he's handy to keep around, someone to just chuck in there, very versatile, can play those multiple positions. But the last player I want to speak about, before we get on to Man United, transfers, questions that people put forward for the podcast, still a lot to get through. TJ, I'm going to come to you. This question personally really annoys me, and I'll give my thoughts on it later. Some people may have seen. Brennan Johnson, what do you make of his start to Spurs? In a Spurs shirt, is it too early to put the questions out? Can he do it? Blah blah blah. Is it too early?
I think it's. Look, I don't want to be too harsh on him, because it's too soon to actually judge. A lot of Spurs fans are jumping the gun, but we have to question his performances as well. Because he can't just perform bad each week and you don't question it. But it's too soon, he's still getting to know the style, he's still getting to know the players, he's still understanding how Ange wants him to play, so we have to support him, get behind him. Again, it is a bit overwhelming because for me, this is just my opinion, it's a bit overwhelming for me because I actually thought he would get the ground running straight away, but some players take longer to start, Some players, we've had so many players that come and go, and it takes them longer to adjust and adapt into a certain style. So, look, with Johnson, again, it's too soon to judge and jump the gun. Let's be honest with you. We just have to get behind him, and hopefully it comes good.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, you need to get behind him. And listen, I'm not going to call out the individual again because I went through that all the last couple of days. Some people will know who I'm talking about. But in particular, Spurs YouTuber loves to sit here, right, and slander Johnson, right? And I never got the constant negativity from fans towards their own club and their own players, constantly putting them down. People have done it with Richarlison, but now I'm seeing it regularly with Johnson. Some of the accusations that came out from this individual, he has a fair few subscribers. I'll give him that. I don't know where he gets it, but some people will say things for clicks, and I think people are using that opportunity against Johnson with the price tag, using that against him, for example. If anyone wants to see who I mean, just check out my Twitter in the last 48 hours, but don't blame me if you don't. I want to move on to transfers now. So, Mark, I'm going to come to you. How important is this window, and what do you want to see now? Obviously, let's assume Timo Werner's done. What else do you want to see happen? It could be, incomings, outgoings.
Can I just go back to Brian Johnson, because I was listening to you, and he's had 14 starts in the Premier League.
Yeah,
1 goal, 4 assists. 3 of those starts, he went off after 10 minutes against Sheffield United with an injury. He went off after, I think, an hour against Arsenal. And then he had the cut to the head against Forest about half an hour in.
Mm-hmm.
So he joined on the last day of the window, didn't have a pre-season with Ange, and is trying to integrate himself as a 21, 22-year-old kid into a huge club that's completely changed its style, changed its manager, and changed our team. I think we just need to be a little bit more patient with him.
Of course.
Absolutely.
That was my 2 pence worth. Transfers.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think some people just can't help saying things for clicks, but
and they want something to moan about.
Something to moan about, something to whinge about. It suit their agenda, but honestly, I'm not giving those individuals
1-0 Man United.
That's my time. Yeah, just come through 1-0 Man United against Wigan, so that makes it a lot easier for Man United. We're going to have to open up, but focusing on Spurs. Mark, coming back to you, because Werner's done. Let's accept it's going to be announced very shortly, probably tomorrow. So what else do you want to see done in this window? What's the priority for you? Ingoings, outgoings?
I think incoming wise, definitely a centre back, and I take Phillips going on loan as Dragusin will be here within the next couple of days.
Yeah,
I think that will be agreed. Once they've got the Werner one done, I think Dragusin will be done, and it'll be done before the weekend, which will give us 3 first-team centre-backs plus Emerson and Davis, who have actually proved that they can cover there. So I think we'd be more than covered. Where I think we are short is in the middle of midfield. Not in the 10, but in the middle of midfield. There is no one in our team that can do what Sarr does. Lo Celso to an extent, but no one does what Sarr does. And I think we have to have cover for him. And that could mean allowing Højbjerg to go now rather than in the summer. Because I think he'll go ultimately.
Yeah, I think he'll go in the summer, personally.
Possibly. But
new agent.
I think the summer would be better for him, though.
I view it in there's a 25-man squad. There are 2 places that have opened up already, which is Lloris and Perisic, because neither of them were going to be registered second half of the season. So that allows Werner and Dragusin to come in. Interestingly, there's rumours tonight that Henderson wants to leave the Saudi League. Chelsea are sniffing around. If Chelsea brought him back in, that opens up the door for Conor Gallagher to go.
I don't think
Chelsea needs the money, though.
Yeah, but I don't think
he's pure profit.
But I don't think we have the money. Look, I would love Conor Gallagher.
We do.
Look, Levy. See, look again. I don't know the finances behind everything, but Levy wouldn't want to spend 60 million on Conor Gallagher. He just about wants to spend 30 million on the centre back.
I think if we offered them 40 million, we'd get him. And the reason being is that he is into the last year of his contract come the summer, and his value will half.
Yeah, but if you're Pochettino, you walk out. You walk out of Chelsea, though, don't you? Gallagher, the way he plays, into how important he is, it's a massive loss. He suits our system. I love him.
I said all along that Pochettino won't last the season. He's only got a 2-year contract. He will not see the season out. Mark
Yeah, they got the results recently, but can they keep it up?
No.
So what's happening between Jota? We're not going to be entertaining that anymore.
I don't think.
Don't see a need
I don't
for
think
it. Yeah.
I don't think Ange thinks he's suited to the Premier League.
But TJ, before we move on, give me your thoughts on what we need. Obviously, assuming Werner's done.
Yeah, so we definitely need centre backs. You know, my priority was centre backs. And as Ashley Phillips has obviously left the building, we need centre backs ASAP. So hopefully this gets sorted. Again, I'm quite similar. We definitely need a midfield up. And see, it's optimistic with Conor Gallagher for me personally. I'm not confident that Levy will splash the cash, especially January. And it's, again, look, it will be a dream signing. If we could get this over the line, Conor Gallagher at Tottenham would be such a good signing, you know? It takes us from here to there, you know, and I'm being dead serious. He's everything that Tottenham needs, you know? Now we've got a good bench, if you think about it. We've got some cover. We've got someone that can play in all three positions except for the centre defensive, the CDM. He hasn't really played that much of it, but he's played an attacking role, the attacking midfielder role, the midfielder role. So he should be through the door, really and truly. But centre backs, firstly, we need to get this sorted because, for me personally, we should have got that done before Werner, in my opinion. That should have been
got
the first
some
person through the door.
very bad news on centre backs that's just come through. I don't know if you want to believe it or not, but it's being reported that Bayern are very close to signing Drogson. Actually, that they've gone in with the offer that I want. Trying to find a source that is reporting this. I've never heard him before.
This is what I'm saying. If we can't
have gone in and paid the 30 million euros potentially.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is what frustrates me. It frustrates me to the point where, like,
I still think it'll be a Tottenham player. I think that we're giving in the end, and we're battling with Bayern. We should have more money than Bayern, etc. So I think personally, this is, I don't know, maybe a game plan by the agent parties, etc. To get Spurs to speed up the deal for Drogson's sake. I think it's a bit of game plan, but we'll have to see, I guess. But Callum, go on, TJ.
It's just frustrating, man. Sorry about that. It's just, it just annoys me. It annoys me so because you see all the injuries we've got right now, and you decide to bring in Werner. And I'm not going to throw my prams out. The centre back should have been in. That's the first player through the door. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Callum, talk to me. Udogie, Sarr, long-term contracts to 2030. How good is it to see the club thinking about the long-term? Or would you call them both, in particular Sarr, generational talents, or is that just a step too far yet? You're muted.
Yeah, definitely going to say a step too far, but yeah, very good options and very good future for the club. And to sign them up to 2029 and 2030, I think it was respectively. I think that's really great business, especially with a combined price tag of 30 million for the two of them and all that. Yeah, once again, Paratici actually using the Italian league and the French league to his advantage to get very good players, and how it would have been nice to have Udogie last year and Sarr playing how he should have been played last year. You never know, it could have made a difference. But yeah, very good players and very good the club to actually move on it. And I think if rumours are to be believed, they're saying that Son and Basuma are the two next ones that could be offered new deals. So if there is a wave of them, I don't think we want to follow what Arsenal does, but it's sometimes what you need. So it gives stability throughout the club and playing
Sonny's only got a year left in the summer, so that's.
And if you're the club, you want to keep him as well, don't you? Not be paying the money some the club off the pitch.
Basuma only signed a 4-year deal initially, so he's 2 years in.
Yeah, so he's 2026.
Just on that report about Bayern, it's from a Genoa-based journalist who's attached to Genoa.
Right.
So there's one or two ways of looking at this. One of them is to poke Spurs to say, we've got an offer from Bayern for 30 million euros. Pay up or shut up. There is, I've just had a quick search. There is not a single word from a single German journalist. Not a word. So I would take it with the biggest pinch of salt you could find.
The only thing that got me, Mark, was there was a Romanian journalist who presented it first, and before Marc did on there, the Genoa one. But I would have said that there would have been something from probably Florian at Pletigo or something like that.
Exactly, he'd have had his trousers down.
Any chance that's
jumping up and down because anything to get one over on us.
Exclusive video. It's fallen through. Yeah, don't worry about that.
I wouldn't worry about
it. But then, look, let's just say we do miss.
Standing there with a Kane shirt and a Dragosin shirt next to each other, wouldn't we?
Exactly.
But let's just entertain. We miss this signing. Who would we be bringing in? Lloyd Kelly.
Because
we definitely
Lloyd Kelly or Tosin probably.
Lloyd Kelly is a free in the summer, so I can't see the point in that. The boy from Nice will be a target for the summer. There is no way he's leaving Nice, whatever we offer.
Who, Todibo?
This season, Todibo. They're second in the table. They've got the best defence in France, and they've got a chance of getting in the Champions League. There is no way he's leaving this.
It could be a title fight as well. They don't want to lose their best player. I'll give their best player. So
yeah, I mean they're 5-6 points behind PSG. Can I see PSG dropping that many points? Not really. Not in that league. They must have other targets. They've done very, very well at keeping things quiet in the last few transfers. Hands up those who heard of Vicario before.
Yeah, exactly.
No one. And no one realised how good he was, apart from Gigi Buffon, the ex-Italy goalkeeper. And the other one is who mentioned Werner last week, the week before. No one.
That was just out of the blue.
So that completely out of the blue.
And it happened really quickly as well. Pretty much woke up to the links and went to bed with it being done, and here we go. So it just shows you how quickly it progressed.
Yeah, apparently that was done in about 3 days. According to Romano, that was about 3 days. It started on the Thursday, and all this stuff had been agreed by the Saturday and all that, and it just didn't slip out. It was all done through intermediaries and a phone call.
But going back to start on the doggy, TJ, give me your thoughts on both of them. Obviously, signing long-term deals with 2030. How good is it to see, the club really thinking about the long term?
Yeah, no. It's the right moves for both of them. Listen, we don't even have to talk about them. We just say Sarr and the doggy. They're our players, Without both of them, they're pivotal how we play right now, And when they're not on the pitch, we do struggle. We do generally struggle because, look, like it or not, Adogi is just I think he's probably one of the best left backs right now in the Prem, and. He just gets every single time he plays, it gets better. I mean, it's a breath of fresh air because we used to have problems with that left back position, that right back position. It's just a breath of fresh air. So he deserves a contract. He deserves it all, and he's young. He's like 21, so this is not the end product. They're both gonna grow. So. Spurs are doing a good move, but it's just I'm sorry, man. You guys messed me up with this centre back thing, man, because listen, I know you've asked me, but in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking we managed to sign Werner so quickly. Why couldn't we do this centre back when that was our priority?
TJ, me and Mark living rent free in your head.
I can offer you 30-minute counselling sessions at a discount if it helps.
And although yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you guys are all fairly young, I'm guessing. I mean, this is my 48th season as a season ticket holder. Try living through a relegation.
Oof.
Try
never,
living
man.
through Arsenal's dominance through
Yeah, no,
late 80s, early 90s, and even the noughties under Wenger. It was just, we used to literally sit there, and by February we couldn't catch them. That's how bad it was. This now is just a breath of fresh air.
It's great to see.
It's just great. And you know,
talking about breath of fresh air, Sarah and the doggy. Talk to me about them. 2030.
I think that the club has shown that it has now got a direction. It's now got a plan and a way of. But it runs throughout the whole club. I've watched 9 or 10 of the under-21 games this season live, actually at the ground.
Okay.
And because Stevenage is only down the road for me, and you think the first team take risks playing out from the back? Go and watch the under-21s. They take even more risks and are even better at it. There are some. Dorrington and Donnelly have deserved their places on the bench recently. Really deserved it. They are real prospects. They're not the finished article. Dorrington is not ready to play in the Premier League. I don't care what anyone says, but he will be in a year or two's time. And then you remember Alfie Devine. Alfie Devine is on loan, is slightly older, and also ready to play probably next season, maybe the season after. But going back to Sarah and Doggy, this is what we've wanted for a long time. Good youngsters coming into the team, showing what they can do and being rewarded for what they do. Hasn't happened since Poch. We haven't had fullbacks like Porro and a Doggy since we had Rose and Walker. Which is now a lot further back than I care to remember.
It's finally replaced them.
Start slowly but surely. You can see what he's trying to do. It was never going to get done in one window or two windows. It was always going to take 3 or 4. Yeah. And also, you've got to ship out the deadwood.
And people, Mark, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but people kind of underestimate the importance of moving, getting players out the door as well as income. As you talk about a rebuild, etc., it's so important to get players out.
They also underestimate how difficult it is when a player has got a contract like a Perisic or a Ndombele on 200 grand a week. Perisic
can't ship them off.
Was fairly used. 165 grand a week Perisic was on. 185 grand a week. Lloris on 165 grand a week. Those two alone have saved us an absolute fortune getting them out the door early. But you can't just push players out the door. Who's going to pay a Ndombele 200 grand a week? And then Dominic's going to say, well, I've got a contract for another year.
And he heard the way that Galatasaray has spoken about him, the president and that, about an own player. Exactly. I've never, ever heard that before to that level. It's not good.
I don't blame Dyer saying, you know what, I'll stay for another year, see out my contract, leave on a free, get a big signing on fee, and maybe take a slight salary drop then. Why should he take a salary drop now? It's a short
He's loving it. Look at the facilities at Tottenham. That's,
exactly.
Gets a bit of lovely facilities.
So or just pay up his contract and get him out the door. Well, that's sort of 5-6 million quid to pay him up for the whole year. And Ndombele would be about 11 million, but they want us to go and buy a 40-50 million pound midfielder.
That was the worst signing.
We've just written off 20 million quid in paying up players' contracts and getting them out the door.
And I get
and then stacking managers as well. Put it like that. It doesn't help the process.
You know what? I'm not a alleviator. I'm not alleviating. There are many flaws to things he's done, but he's not stupid.
No, he's very clever.
And I actually think
he's a good man.
I think he trusts Ange, and I think he'll give him what he wants over a period of time. But we have to be patient. We're 5 months into Ange Ball. 5 months, half a season.
Yeah.
I mean, that lot up the road are 4 years and 700 million down the drain. And they're a point ahead of us this season and out the FA Cup.
3 losses in a row in all competitions.
3 losses in a row, back-to-back home defeats without scoring. They said a stat on the game yesterday. I was watching it.
Pretty much a fully fit squad as well.
63 shots in the last 3 games, 1 goal.
That's
But
terrible.
it's all right because they're apparently better.
Talk
than
about
us.
clinical, TJ. At least we're not
Yeah,
quite
man,
in
that right
Talk
there
about
will-
being lacking clinical.
Yeah,
Yeah. There we go. Another
it could be
level. But
worse.
before we get on, yeah, before we get on to the questions people have for the podcast and the panel, I want to go through our next game, and that is Manchester United. Callum, how are you feeling ahead of the game? And talk me through your lineup, what it would look like, assuming, we have majority of players back then.
Well, H, you just looked like you was going to cry then for a second, mate. So
I'm hoping we have everyone back.
yeah, I mean, United are a pale shadow of dog crap in a bin. I think that's the way that I'll describe them this year, to be honest, mate. So I mean, I think that I'm happy going there to play, considering that a couple of years ago I would have hated to go to Old Trafford. Now I'm not fussed by it. I think we can go to anywhere and play. Simple as that. As long as we play a good game, then I don't think we're going to be that bothered, considering that Ten Hag's nearly 2 years into his project and can't work out whether to turn up each day or who he's going to put in the under-23s next week. So ironically, Jed Spence is now in the under-23s for us, so that went down well today. But I think my lineup would be Big Vic in goal, Udogie left back, Porro at right back, Van de Ven, and I'm probably going to say Royale at centre back alongside him, because Davis is obviously out and Dyer could be gone to Bayern if they don't get Dragusin by then. Probably a midfield of Bentancur and Skip with, I'm hoping, Kulu, Lo Celso, Johnson and Ritchie as sort of my front four unit. I don't think Werner will be ready to play yet because he has been struggling with injuries this year. Yeah, I'd say playing for the bench, because he had a lot of niggling injuries, and I don't remember the last time he played for Leipzig, to be honest. I think it was about maybe 3-4 weeks ago, something like that. But I'm sure Marc can find it on Wikipedia or LiveScore or something like that.
While Marc's having a look, I'll come to you. Yeah, exactly. I'll come to you, TJ. How are you feeling about the Man United game? It's quite a way away at this moment in time, but it'll come around very quickly. And talk me through exactly what your lineup would look like.
I'm usually good with these score predictions. Scarfy, you still owe me you owe me a chili. Remember, you still owe me the chili.
What's the bet?
You do, definitely. You know what? Look, the lineup I'm gonna obviously go with is obviously this Vicario in goal, Udogie, and then you have to play Van de Ven, and then you're gonna obviously have to play Romero, or not Romero, Royale, and then Pedro Porro in the midfield. I think it's basically the same, I am a bit look, see, for me, I feel like it's going to be a draw. So I am confident, but
don't see your score prediction. We'll get on to score predictions.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. So my lineup's exactly the same, to be honest with you. I don't think we're going to see Werner. Maybe it might come on 60th, 70th minute, to get a run out, but who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
So I can tell you the German league shut down for its winter break on the 18th, so he wouldn't have played since then anyway. He was on the bench for that game, but he did play the Champions League game the midweek before that against Young Boys.
Okay, so it's not the worst one. I mean, his form's been quite bad because he has been out injured this year as well. He's got 2 goals in 8 games. Yeah.
8 starts. Hold on, let me just have a quick.
I don't even think that starts, is it? That's just
it's 2 goals in 2 starts.
Oh, that's not too bad.
He's got 2 goals in 203 minutes of football.
Yeah, he's struggled since he's left Chelsea.
No, he actually did really well last season. The problem is that Openda and 1 or 2 others have been so good this season. He hasn't had a look in. So, and the injuries having because he played in the Super Cup win over Bayern. They won 3-0. So he started that game right at the beginning.
And
of
I
the
think he
season.
got an assist. Yeah, I was watching that game.
He got an assist in that game. So, do you know what? Clean slate. Just let's see what he can do. Going back, obviously, to Harry's question, starting lineup, the back 4 and 5 will be what it is. It'll be Van der Ven and Emerson at centre back, Porro and Doggy and Vicario. My midfield 3 would be Lo Celso, Bentancur, Kulu in the 10, with Johnson on the right, Richarlison through the middle, and Werner on the left.
Oh, so we thrown him in the deep end.
I'd let him go for an hour. Let him go run for an hour and get some minutes in his legs. And I think, and one of the reasons I do it is United either don't press or can't press from the front. So we're going to have to be able to play out from the back. I don't think Old Trafford holds any fears for anyone anymore. As much as I hate going there, and we do have a woeful record, I think if we attack them, I think we'll beat them, and we'll beat them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite comfortably at sort of arm's length. It might be a 2-1 or a 3-1 or whatever, but I think we'll have them at arm's length. I mean, it's half time. They're 1-0 up against Wigan. Wigan have probably had as many chances as Man United. And Højlund and Rashford and all those are all playing. It's not a weak team.
Okay.
TJ, I might be able to level your head a little bit and maybe get mine and Marc's misinterpretations over a centre-back out of it a little bit. So Plettigol finally jumped on the bandwagon with the transfer bit. Bayern are in the race, but Tottenham are ahead. Bayern still have a chance, but time is running out. Spurs are much closer to going for 25 million euro transfer with add-ons. Still no official bid from Spurs or Bayern, though. It's all verbal. There's no official line. It's all just talking between, and I don't know how much.
It's all Chinese whispers, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all Chinese whispers.
Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, it seems that Florian Plettenberg, whatever that dickhead's name is, has finally decided to pipe up. And at least he isn't selling a player from Spurs yet, like he was with Kane and Dyer. But he will probably. And there is still a chance for Dragusin to go to Bayern, but there's about 7 different names who are on their centre-back list that Plettigol have got. And it's going to be one of them which, until something's done officially, holding up a shirt or something like that, you can't believe all of this crap. That's the thing.
What number do you reckon Werner's going to get? What number? Can't have 11 because that thrilling player Brian Killer's got 11.
I personally think it will go on loan, so I think he'll get number 11.
You can't take the number. It's the number for the season.
Oh really? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, there you go.
You get like starting like 25.
25. Do we have 25 available?
I don't think so.
I think in the high 30s, because we like a player in the high 30s. What Van der Ven's 37?
37, yeah.
A Doggy's 39? 38? Something like that.
Yeah. Give him the number 2 shirt. Give him the number 2 shirt. That'd go down well.
Oh, ouch. I want to move on to Man United score predictions before we get to the questions. I don't want why. I just want your score prediction, who you think is going to score. Callum, score predictions. Who's going to score?
Oh, Kulusevski.
On the spot.
Kulu. I'm going to go Kulu. What did I go for last night? Was it 2-1? 2-1 that I went with last night.
I wasn't there. I jumped off, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. No, I think I went 2-1 last night to Spurs.
Okay,
yeah.
Love it. Love the positivity. TJ, are you as positive, and who's going to score?
You know what? I've just realised I have a bet with someone, so I have to go with the scoreline now. Damn. 1-1. Yeah, 1-1. Werner and Rashford.
Werner and Rashford. Marc?
Rashford
Yeah,
still?
because you know what?
I'm
He doesn't have a
thinking
good record against Tottenham, Rashford. Sadly.
2-0.
Ooh,
Spurs?
okay.
Going to go 2-0. And the goal scorers are going to be Richarlison and Lo Celso.
Okay,
Decent.
absolutely love it. Before we actually go on, one more thing before we get to the questions people put forward for the podcast. How many points will we get for our next 3 Premier League fixtures? I just want the number. I'm going to come around in no particular order. Our next 3 Premier League games as follows: Man United away, Brentford at home, and Everton away. That's Man United away, Brentford at home, Everton away. Callum, you're going first. How many points are we getting those 3?
6.
Marc.
I'm so tempted to say 9.
Oh yes,
But I'm gonna say 9.
Absolutely love it. Barney says 5. I hope it's more than 5, Barney. But yeah, you're
I'm
like
on
me,
5 as well.
realistic.
I'm on 5 as well.
Okay, right, there we go. For me, Man
curious.
United, I think we get a draw. Brentford, I think we win 4. Everton, I think we. Yeah, I'm stuck between. I think I'm going about
Everton
5.
is
If
hard.
it's more than that, 5 minimum, absolute minimum
Yeah.
for me. 5. But we have to see. But moving on to the questions that people put forward for the podcast. I know some people are waiting for that, so massively appreciated for your patience. Callum, I'm going to give the first question to you. This is from Barney saying, with the current signings announced, where else now realistically for you can Spurs strengthen?
Probably centre back for definite, and if we get an opportunity, it's got to be a midfielder.
Okay, thank you very much, TJ. Big up has Spurs TV, obviously. Another good co-host with us at South View Chorus, TJ. He says, why is Levy haggling to save 5 million for Drogsin when we play Man United in 6 days? Of course, he had to ask that.
He asked me this the question because he's building the universities, the schools, the hotels, and he wants to save money. Nah, let's be honest with you. To be honest with you, let me be totally honest. This is my theory. I don't think he's worth 30 million.
Okay.
I
think that he's a raw talent. It's potential, but with what we've done with the likes of Van der Ven, Sarr, or Doggy, it feels like it has the potential to be one of them. 21-year-old Romanian, like I said, raw talent, great recovery pace. I feel that he will suit the system, but in terms of experience, Todibo would be ready to come in and deliver right now.
I believe 30 million is too much. I think a fair assessment is 27 to 25.
Yeah, it's a little bit less in million because obviously it's euros. It'd be 30 million
30
euros.
million euros, yeah, which is about 26 million quid, which isn't far
in this
away.
Market isn't too bad.
I don't think he's haggling over 5 million. I think they're just ironing things out. They'll get there.
It's football. People forget that football's about negotiations. It's about getting the best possible deal for your club, and that is the ultimate priority. And I think that's what's done at the moment. Patience.
It's about the structure of the deal, isn't it? It's about the structure of the deal. Genoa want more of it up front compared to Levy, who likes to do instalment packages and achievable add-ons, as you would call them. Whereas in Levy's mind, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they want about 22 million up front with about 4 million add-ons. Spurs wanted to offer about 15 in baseline fee and about 10 to 12 million euros in add-ons that would probably include winning the Champions League and all that stuff.
No, I think we're closer to about 18 or 19 now, is what I heard earlier today. So they're getting close. I think trying to do 2 at the same time is never easy. I mean, obviously the Werner one is pretty straightforward. But just going back to we don't have 40, 50 million to spend on a player. Remember, Werner's costing nothing. There is no loan fee. We're only paying his wages.
His wages is high.
And we're not paying Lloris anymore, and we're not paying Perisic anymore.
Oh yeah, true. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I forgot about that. You're right.
Confirmed yet though? Perisic is meant to be leaving.
I think he'll be leaving. He'll be leaving in January.
Should be because the Croatian market's open for longer. I believe goes into February.
But also, it was something to do with the Croatian boy that we signed in the summer.
Oh, right.
The 15-year-old. 15-year-old who looks a bit like Luke. Who looks a bit like Luke Little being 16. This kid at 15 don't look 15. He looks about 23. And he's already playing Croatian First Division, which is ridiculous.
Mark, I'm going to give the last question to you from Stephen. Big up, Stephen. Thank you for your question. Stephen says, if the Drogsin deal is complete by the end of this week, along with obviously Timo Werner and the sale of Eric Dyer, is that the end for you to our January business? Is there any chance like a second centre-back is signed? Do we need one?
I don't think there'll be another centre-back, and I honestly don't think we need one. I think you can keep everyone happy. I think there'll be one more. And it might be a bit opportunistic, or it might be if, as I said earlier, if Henderson goes to Chelsea, then that paves the way for Gallagher to leave. And Chelsea are going to have to cash in because he will not sign a new contract. So if that window shuts in January and he's still there, they'll be lucky to get 25 million from him in the summer. And they need the money because FFP rules are tapping them on the shoulder. And the only way to make big money for Chelsea, pure profit, is by selling the crown jewels, which is what they've been doing for the last year and a half. You look at all the players they've sold. There aren't that many big homegrown talents left there now. Reece James, Conor Gallagher, Chalobah. I think that's about it. There might be.
You're not going to get a lot for Reece James, not being funny, because of obviously he's gone through recently a lot of injury problems.
Their other big problem is they've done 80 million on Fofana.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
a massive mistake.
That is how he passed the medical. I have no idea. The kid's had 3 ACL injuries and he's 22. Alarm.
You just don't tell it. You don't buy him at all, let alone pay 80 million.
Ridiculous. So,
unless the medical team are blind.
So that who got paid off, who got paid a nice little pocket.
I'm sure they do the medical reports in Braille as well. They must have known. But I think we will. I think there'll be one more. I've always thought there'll be 3 because I've always thought in my mind that there'd be 3 places would open up. So you've got Perisic, Lloris will be 2 of them.
And Dyer.
And the other one would either be Dyer, which opens up another overseas space.
Phillips has gone on loan now.
He's under 21. He wouldn't take one of the squad.
Yes, of course, yeah.
The other one is we've got Austin, Whiteman, Forster, and Vicario, all listed in the 25-man squad. So I think you could probably lose one of them as well. That opens up a homegrown spot. So there are little things to bear in mind there. None of the under 21 players have to be registered for the 25-man squad. And the other strange one that I saw must be about a month ago was next season Sarr counts as homegrown.
Oh yeah.
Because he's been at the club for 3 years. Yep.
Yeah.
He's not club trained homegrown, which is key for Europe. You need 4 of them. He will be homegrown because he's been at the club. And Divine is also, when he gets to past 21, he's home.
Wow.
He's club trained homegrown because he had 3 years in the academy, which is why they made him tough it out before.
The thing is, I think with the Divine one, Mark, this was a question that might come up because I think this year was meant to be the year where it would have qualified him and all that. There's an issue because he's 20 now.
He's already been at the club 3 years. He's already completed 3 years in the academy. Now he's gone on loan. So once he's over 21, he will be classed as club trained homegrown. Same as Skip.
Obviously, Tanganga if he comes back as well.
I hope not. He's one that I'm hoping they send to Norwich or someone.
If we don't get a centre back, could Tanganga do a job?
No, he's been out injured too long. Tanganga ain't got any legs. I mean, if you was gonna call anyone back, maybe Rodon, but even that is a.
I like what I've seen from Rodon.
But that's scraping the pot right at the bloody bottom now and all that. The problem is Yeah,
that's taking a layer off the bottom of the pot. I just Rodon has found his level at Leeds in the Championship.
It's like I saw. Sorry, it's like I saw regular. It's like when people said Reguilon and Spencer coming back. Are they going to play? No. If they get sent by the respective club, one for attitude and one because he's not wanted behind Luke Shaw and Malacia, what does that say? Come on.
Yeah, the other issue with some of these is that if they already have played for us before they went on loan and now they've come back, like Scarlett can't go on loan for the rest of the season because he's already played for 2 teams. He's played for us in the League Cup and he played for Ipswich.
Free club thing, yeah.
Free club rule. So there are, and you go onto social media and there are so many people, and I know I'm a bit of an anorak when it comes to the laws and all this sort of stuff, and people will always fire questions at me and asking me, what's the law or what's the rule on this? The information is out there. Go look it up, guys. It pays to actually understand a little bit, because then you don't have to ask these questions, right? Okay. Or just get clarification from someone. But it's a minefield. People don't realise how many different rules there are now governing players being able to move and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to wrap up for today's show. So massively appreciated everyone who tuned in and watched throughout today. Lengthy one, but I knew it would be. There's a lot to discuss as well, as there ever is in a January transfer window. Firstly, Callum, as it says there, co-host with me at Part Lane Podcast. Where can people find you?
As always, mate, thanks for having me on. And it's Callum Stubbs 97. And most of the time, I'm stuck on Park Lane Podcast, either on the Twitter page or with you guys on a Sunday. So if you do want to, come give us a check out, subscribe, like, and go and have a look at our videos, see what you think. Yeah.
Go check it out. Absolutely. TJ, massively, appreciate for coming on. Obviously, it's great to have you back into streaming after what you've been through recently, etc. First time on the show, it's been great, long overdue, as you say. And where can people find you?
You can find me on Spursy Talks. Also, you can find me on Southview Gals. We have a little Friday show. Wait, is there a Friday show this week? Yeah.
I think so. Pretty sure.
Yep. So you can find me over there, and I'm happy to be back. Thank you for having me on. I should have been on a long time ago.
I apologise for that.
I'm still annoyed. I'm still annoyed with that, But thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed, and nice to meet you guys as well. I think it's the first time streaming with you guys. You guys have been a joy. I've learned a lot.
Thanks, mate. You too.
Nice to hear, TJ. Mark, where can people find you? Obviously, a second or so time on the channel now.
Twitter or X, whichever you want to call it, at Marc Spurs. Very simple. Or pre-match at home games, you'll always find me in the garden at the Coach and Horses Public House, which is along Tottenham High Road. Always there. Always happy to have a pint and have a chat. And there's a whole group of us that have met on Twitter that drink in there now. We all meet up before games. It's
love it.
Really great fun. But
it's what we like to hear.
Always happy to have new followers and chat Tottenham. And if you've got any questions, TJ, seriously, if you've got any questions you want to ask, either drop me a message or tweet at me. And if I know the answer, I'll answer you. Otherwise, I'll tell you where to find the answer.
Absolutely love it.
Definitely.
So massively appreciated all of you. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. If you are listening on any other podcast platform, don't forget to give us a follow and a 5-star review. That'd be massively appreciated. If you are interested in the channel merch at affordable prices, designed similar to the Spurs kit with names and numbers on the back, absolutely free of cost, and it'll be with you within 3 weeks or so of ordering as well. Go check that out. The link is in the chat earlier, or if you want to, you can message me privately and I'll send you the link if it doesn't work. But as we always say, up the Spurs.
You were working as a manager at Celtic Park when we met you. We picked you out, you shook us up and turned us around. You've turned us into something new. And Postecoglou, you know that we believe it when you say you're gonna change it. And Postecoglou, we're the mighty Tottenham and nobody's gonna stop them. Oh, he looks so fine in blue and lily white. And then he said to me, I'm from a land down under. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh.